Hello everyone, we are finally on the last video in the series of videos for working with numbers in Python. My name is Ibrahim Hamed. I'm going to be demonstrating to you today how you can format some of your small or large numbers that you may be dealing with when you are, programming in Python. Let's go back to what we've seen prior to now. Let's assume that someone asks you to write a program that will get the quantity of certain product from you, and you say this is going to be an input, and you want people to supply the quantity, and then you are equally asking them for the price. Ideally, you shouldn't be doing this. People should know the price, or the program should be intelligent enough to get the selling price from somewhere that I don't want to talk about now. Okay, so let's say you have this selling price, that is a G there. Okay, and then you say the amount is equal to quantity multiplied by, that is nothing called selling price, it's just a fantasy, so it's called price. And then you come in here and say print. We have used several notations for displaying our output. So say amount is maybe this, and you say format, and then you put in the amount here. Okay. Now we demonstrated to ourselves that this code looks clean, but it's not going to work, and we can quickly prove that again by saying run this code for us. Oh, my quantity 250. The price is 678.95. And then there's a problem. There's a problem down here. Now we're expecting that problem. We know that is going to give us a problem. So how do we fix this? Basic thing, we've gone through this before. I'll say quantity, we expect an integer, and then price, sometimes it could go decimal. So we'll say it's a float. F-L-O-A-T. It's a float. Correct. So this is going to work now, at least for our numbers. Quantity 650, unit price 3456.7.89, and then it displays our results down there. Now when you look at that result, you can see that it looks a little bit boring. There is nothing special about it. Yeah, we know that's supposed to be a currency based thing. Where are the thousands or million commas that are supposed to be there? We can't find it. Sometimes it may just be even unfortunate that the decimal numbers that you have here will be quite many, like we've seen today when we did 2/3 and then the figures start spilling. How do you go about cleaning up such a mess? So let's clean up this first one, and then we'll come back to the case of our 2/3 and then see how best to handle it. Now, the first thing I need to do here is to say, this is my number amount. How do I clean it up? I'll come around and say, I need my F notation. I'll take this part out. And that means that you will come in here and say amount. This is standard. This is pretty much what we've done before now. If you run it, the result is still the same. You still have this number 0.5, but we want to make it look a little bit more decent. So what can we start doing? I can go into this part and say put a colon immediately after that number, and I'll put comma right in there, and I'll go down here and say 0.2f. And people will start wondering, what exactly is this? If I just remove this comma first, let's start our declaration from there, and I put just 0.2f and I run the code, it comes back with, is there an error? Quantity has an error. How? Let me see. Invalid literal for int with base 10 formatting. So which line has a problem? Line 1. That's strange to me. Quantity is correct. Okay. Price is correct because that's a float. And amount is doing quantity times price. Everything worked up to now that I was trying to change some things. So why will it suddenly start yelling at me? Okay, so let me check quickly. So what if I come back here and say I want this? It's still complaining. It says invalid. It's complaining about my quantity field, 1 comma here. Let's go back. It's strange. Quantity is a variable. I'm expecting int. Sorry, I'm messing up my code on my own. Why? Quantity is int, pass this. This is correct. Price is float, pass this. This is correct. But then it's complaining about this. Maybe this is now pressure. So I'm going to do this. I'll convert this to x. I'll put this as y. Sometimes things like this happen, and then you come back here and say make this 3, and then I want my result to be x divided by y, and here I'm putting my result quickly. I'll go back later and check what's wrong with this. I do not expect any problem here. So if I come in here and I just put this, it should be able to demonstrate what I have. Now, I think something is fundamentally wrong somewhere. So it says I can do this. Okay, let's check again. Is it yelling because I'm using the word formatting? But I've run this code before, so what's going on? If I go back and I run this, oh my goodness, look at that. Name of the file again, disturbing me. So I have 0.66666 up to eternity. If I want to format this to make it look more decent, I can come in here and say, let me have it in 2 decimal places rather than this 0.666 just extending forever. When you run the code, you get your result as this. Okay, so it means I can go back and say my result is this. That's no problem. Result is 0.67. If you want it in 4 decimal places, you change this to 4 and then you go back. It gives you the result in 4 decimal places. So it means I can easily do undo. No, don't undo this. Let me go back to what I had before because I wanted to generate a very huge number. In fact, I can actually do it here. I'll just say I had quantity being equal to maybe 278 and I had price. I seem to be flip-flopping. I have price at 3.142 and then amount is going to be my quantity multiplied by price, and here I'll have my result here as amount. Okay, so here I'll say amount is amount. So let's check what that gives us. If I run this, yeah, I get 873.476. So we can actually jack up the quantity a little bit to 2780 So we want to generate a large number. In fact, I can put 2 more 0 there, and then the number keeps growing bigger. Maybe I do 1 more 0, and then I have a significantly large number. So this is a way in which I can format. Remember what I showed you just now? I said put your colon here and then say dot 2f if you want 2 decimal places. I have the result, even though everything already ended with 0 because I have multiple zeros here. If I don't want everything to have 0 by default, I can put some random figures here. So let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, or 4, 5, 6, 7, and you run this. Yes. So without this part, this is what you will have got. Remove this, clean the terminal. If you run this script, you get this figure. But we do not want 3 decimal places, we want 2. So we'll come into this place, put colon, and say dot 2f. 2f to say you need 2 decimal places. It gives you that. I want my 1000 comma there so that you have 8. Let's start from there. 103, that should be a comma there. 749, that should be a comma there. So how do we go about doing that? Immediately after this colon, you put your comma there. You can even move this closer. If you run this now, you see 8,749,109.51. That is a possibility for you. If you do not want the result to be in that format, you can come in and put this. So I want to show you all the options that we've seen. We've had the results come out this way. We've had the results come out this way. We've had this result like this. And we want to print another result where it will be 0. We do not want 2 decimal places. We don't want anything decimal. So you put 0 in here. It's possible. If I run this, I will get my result. So you see, the first option, when we just did raw calculations, we have the result here. When we say, oh, format it to 2 decimal places, we have the result here. When we said format 2 decimal places and put the 1000 separator there, we have the result here. And when we did no decimal place, put 1000 separator there, we have the result here. Let me play around with one weird format. Is it possible I have 2 commas like this and see what the result will look like? It looks strange. In Excel, I know I can format that, but I don't know if that's going to work in here. It's already looking like it may not work based on what I am seeing. Let's check. Yep, it doesn't work. But then just undo that and stick to what works. So in life, you may need to format your numbers and make them look more friendly. These are ways that we have demonstrated in Python that can help you format your number in more elegant fashion. If you leave it in the raw format, you'll see the execution here. If you format to 2 decimal places, you have this. It doesn't have to be 2 decimal places. You can in fact increase to maybe 4. You can reduce to 1. It depends on what works for you. And the more you practice with this, the better you become with it. And at the end of the day, you become a much better programmer handling numbers. This is my last video with handling numbers in Python. Subsequently, we'll start making use of all these techniques, but play around with this, practice. If you run into issues, hit up, comments. I'll be there to respond to you. I wish you the very best. I look forward to seeing you in subsequent videos. Thanks a lot for being part of this journey. I look forward to seeing you later. Bye for now.